What's up, everybody? Welcome to Weber Mobility episode number 1. Today we're going to go over the morning cars routine, and I'm going to give you some kinetic and passive stretches to perform to get you ready for episode number 2. Alright, so we're going to start with a mobility routine called controlled articular rotations, or the morning cars routine. We're going to start standing if possible. If you're not able to stand, just sit up nice and tall. And what we're trying to do is stand up like a Marine, nice and tall, squeeze the fist. We're not going to bring our shoulders up or all the way down. They're going to be somewhat in between. Our chin is in line with our sternum and navel. We don't want our head going forward. And then when we move our neck, we don't want to move our waist or our thoracic spine. So we don't want anything to move but the joint we're trying to move. So we're going to go ahead and start with the head and neck. Here we go. So I'm going to make sure I have a firm base or a stable base. If you want to hold on to dowels or sit in a chair, that's totally fine. We're going to squeeze your fists, try to corkscrew the ground with your feet, create a little bit of radiation throughout the body. And what that is just think of your whole body as tightening together to stabilize your body, okay, in order to move your neck. And we're going to rotate the neck 2 times each way. Think of the chin going around a clock, okay? So we're going to start in our stable position, nice and tall. We're going to radiate the whole body. So we're going to recruit muscles from around the entire body at about 30% intensity. So don't overdo it. And then we're going to drop the chin down, scrape the chin across the collarbone or rotate the neck. So you're looking over the shoulder. Laterally bend, the ear will drop toward that shoulder as you extend back, looking up, rotating the neck, looking over the other shoulder, bending into that side. The chin will scrape down and across the collarbone, and we'll go one more rotation. All the way around, laterally bend, extend, look over the other shoulder, bend into the side, and flex down. Okay, now we're going to do 2 rotations the other way. If you have any pain or discomfort, simply just make the circle smaller and don't go as hard with your radiation and your intensity. So lower the radiation intensity and just make smaller circles. So now we're going to go the other way. Flex down, rotate, laterally bend, extend back, rotate, look over the other shoulder, flex the chin across and all the way around. One more rotation, bend into the side, extend all the way back, rotate, look over the other shoulder, scrape the chin across the collarbone, and straight down. Good. Now for the thoracic spine, bring your hands across the chest. What we're going to do is flex just the upper back forward. Don't bring your hips back. Try to just keep your upper back down, just like that. Okay, and then when I rotate, I don't want to move my hips. See how my hips moved here? When I rotate, I want to rotate over my hips. Okay, so here we go. Give yourself a hug. Also, another thing people will do is move their head around. So try not to do that as well. Keep your chin tucked in. Here we go. Flex down, rotate, bend, extend back, rotate, bend, flex down, just like the neck. Keep rotating, bend, extend, rotate in the other direction, bend into that side, and flex down. Again, if there's any pain, just make smaller circles. Rotate the other way, bend, extend back, rotate, bend into the side, flex down, one more rotation, bend, extend, rotate, bend, and flex down. Okay, so here's your flexion, and then here's your extension. So you're trying to extend over that lumbar. Okay, it's a good cue. Now, shoulder, glenohumeral joint. Set up with a little bit wider of a base. You could also bring the opposite leg forward. Okay, whatever you'd like here. I'm going to go a little bit wider base and give you a side view. I'm going to bring my thumb up just for direction and go up all the way overhead. If I start to extend my back, I want to stop right there. So as soon as I start to extend my back or not use my shoulder, I want to stop. So I'm about right here. Then I'm going to rotate my thumb forward, and I'm going to reach all the way around and back. Make the circle smaller if it's painful, and keep rotating the arm as you finish the half of the circle. The thumb should be going in the opposite direction. From here, your shoulder's internally rotated. We're going to extend it as well. It's adducted, and now we're going to externally rotate and abduct the shoulder. As we flex it, going back to our original position, across the body, and down. We're going to do one more rep. Flexion across, all the way up, internally rotate as you extend, adduct, half of rep, 2, and extend, externally rotate, reach all the way around and up, across the body, and down, and switch, across and up, internally rotate as you extend, back of the hand next to the side of the body. Extend, externally rotate, reach all the way back up, across the body, and down. One more, across the body and up, thumbs back, thumb rotates as you create that circle, back of the hand next to the side of the body, thumb going back, extend as you rotate into flexion across the body and down. Good. From here, our elbows. We're going to flex the elbows, turn the palms, and then push the palms down. Okay, just like that. But as we do that, keep the core tight, and we're going to really squeeze the biceps and the triceps. Extend the elbows, pronate as we flex, supinate all the way, and then extend. Keep it supinated and flex. Pronate the hands and push down. Flex, supinate, and extend. Good. Okay. Now we're going to work on our wrists. Okay. Palms will face down. You can do a simple wrist check here. We want a flat line going across both of those hands. And as you see, I need to work on that. So if you're doing handstands or push-ups, that's something that's important. Okay. So we're going to start with our hands in front of our elbows, fingertips facing down at 6 o'clock. We're going to go around the clock with our fingers all the way up to 12 o'clock. So you should see your palms. We're going to go out and around and down to 6 o'clock. So facing the palms out now. In and around and up, up, out, all the way around and down. Try not to move your shoulders or anything else. Let's go the other way. Out and around and up, in, all the way around and down, down, all the way around and up, up, in, all the way around and down. Good. Shake it out. For the scapula, or protraction, retraction, elevation, depression, you can do that like this or with the arms out. Okay. We're going to start right here. Rule is our middle finger can go up and down, but it can't go forward and back, because that would represent flexion and extension. So we're going to keep the arms glued next to the side. So I shouldn't be able to see anything here. Pretend you're holding on to a couple $100 bills and it's windy out. We're going to elevate, retract, depress, protract. We're going to move those shoulders up, You don't know what you did. And then back, all the way around, forward, up, back, and down. Let's go the other way. Back and up, forward and down. Hold on to the money. Back, down, back, up, forward, all the way forward, all the way down, and relax. For the hips, hold on to a wall or a chair, anything that you can. What we're going to use is the outside leg. And if you have an issue standing on one leg, you can do this in the quadruped position as well. So you can go on the hands and knees or on your side. So what we're going to do is start with the standing position, taking this outside leg and going into flexion first, so a flexion test. Okay, going up as high as you can with the foot underneath the knee. Squeeze the fist here, and then we're going to externally rotate the hip as much as we can. So this is your hip external rotation and range. And from here, we're going to abduct. As we do that, we're going to internally rotate the hip, drawing a circle with the knee. Knee will touch the other knee. Going to extend back, go out and around, all the way up, and in and across. One more. Out, internally rotate to extension, extension, all the way out, up, forward, and down. If you're doing these on the mat, you can do it just like this, but just make sure that nothing is moving except for that hip. Okay? Let's go ahead and switch side. Here we go. Flexion, toe up, external rotation, abduction, internal rotation. Keep the knee bent. That's the hardest part. You put a tennis ball behind the knee, knee to knee. Extend, go back and out before you go around and up, forward. Trying to keep this supported leg straight. Try not to move your body. The only thing that moves is the hip. Out, internally rotate, sweep it around, knee touches knee, back, all the way out and around, forward and down. Okay, for the knees, pushing into a wall for balance and support, we're going to bend the knee and point the toe down here. Externally rotate the leg, extend, internally rotate, and flex. Out, extend, in, and flex. Extend, externally rotate, and bend, in, and down. Switch, flex, turn out, extend, turn in. Bend, turn out, extend, turn in. Bend, extend, turn out, bend, turn in, extend. And for the feet, I'm going to point the toe all the way around and up to 12 o'clock, up, in and all the way around and down to 6. Out all the way around and up to 12, 12 all the way around and down to 6. Other way, down all the way around and up to 12, 12 all the way around and down to 6, 6 all the way around and up to 12, 12 all the way up and around and down to 6. Switching side, point the toe down, in and around and up, up all the way up, around and down to 6, 6 all the way around and up to 12, 12 all the way around and down to 6. Other way, out all the way around and up 12, in all the way around and down to 6. One more, all the way around and up, up, in all the way around and down to 6. Good. For the patella, lean your hips against the wall and straighten one leg. Make sure the whole leg is relaxed. From here, we're going to just push the kneecap or patella around in a circle. So you should be able to bring those thumbs together, fingers behind the knee. You should be able to move. Okay, just pushing that patella in a full 360-degree circle if it's able to move. If it doesn't move, it might be something that you might want to try to do more routinely. That's why you want to do this routine each day. Go ahead and switch side, pushing it around in a full circle. If it doesn't move to a specific side, you want to take note of that. That's why you want to take notes after each routine until you know exactly what your body needs. And then you can start with your pals and rails. So for your toes, all toes up off the ground. Keep the inside upper foot and outer foot on the ground and your heel down as you do this. So try not to lift it up. From here, all toes up, and then try to separate the toes. From here, we're going to piano from pinky all the way to big toe. And now we're going to keep the big toe down and bring those small toes up. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and switch. Small toes down, big toes up. Keep that inside upper foot on the ground there. Hold and switch. Big toe down, small toes up. Hold. 5, 4, 3, and switch. Small toes down, big toes up. Hold. 3, 2, and all toes up. Let's try to piano it from pinky all the way to big toe. One more time, pinky all the way to big toe, all toes up. Now just tap the big toe down. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. One more is your spine segmentation. So we've done the neck and upper back or thoracic spine. Now we're going to involve the lumbar spine. So we're going to get into the flexed spinal position. Tuck the chin. From here, our whole back is flexed, and then we're going to go into extension. So we're going to start with our hips. So notice that I have my hips in a posterior pelvic tilt, or I'm squeezing the glutes. I have to slowly relax the glutes as I begin my anterior pelvic tilt, which allows me to go into lumbar extension, ultimately going one vertebrae at a time, up the back to the head and neck. And then I'm going to work my way the same way, up the back from my low spine, and then begin with my posterior pelvic tilt, and then my mid spine will follow, followed by my neck. And now we're going to reverse it. We're going to start with the head and neck and work our way down. It's a little bit harder for me, so I'm going to start with the head and neck, shoulders and back and hips. And then I'm going to work the same way, neck, upper back, mid back, and lower back. Okay, so that is the full morning mobility routine you can try every single day. Something else I would add to that morning mobility routine would be the following. So one thing I definitely like to do every single day is get in that 90-90 position. Again, if you can't get those knees down, if you need some supports with some pillows, that's totally fine. You can also bend those knees a little bit more than, a little bit less than 90, okay? So what we do want is our knees at 90. Pretend that our front foot is on a line with our back knee and back foot, and our front femur is parallel with our back tibia and fibula. Our back femur is parallel with our front fibula and tibula. Okay, toes are pointed. We got dorsiflexion with the ankles. And we're just going to look straight ahead in our 90-90 position. And if we feel like we're sagging like this, you can always just bring the forearm down. But we want to try to stay upright. Okay, we don't want to feel like we're bending in half. So if you have some blocks, that can help. And we're just going to try to breathe into this position. We're going to go through inhaling through our nose for about 4 seconds, and then exhaling for about 8 seconds to really try to slow our breathing down and relax into this position. Our chest will move forward, but we don't want to flare the ribs, so keep those ribs down as you hinge forward. Getting the hips away from the knees, stretching out that left outer hip here for me, and breathing into that. So you want to hold this for at least 2 minutes before you perform any action. Okay, so it's really important to breathe into this for a couple minutes on this side, and then you'll breathe into your back hip. Okay, so when we're breathing into this front hip, what we're stretching and feeling is external hip rotation. Now, if this is painful, then you know you have some bad hip external rotation stuff going on here. Okay, so after about 2 minutes of stretching here, I'm going to go to my back hip. I'm just going to twist with my hands like this to start. I might feel some tension here or pain. If I do, I want to write that down. That's a big note. I shouldn't have any pain here. I should be able to just move and touch. If I'm not able to, use some supports. Again, we want to hold this for about 2 minutes. Okay? Inhale and exhale. And we just want to be able to get comfortably in these positions. Now, if you can't get to 2 minutes, your goal is to work up to 2 minutes, and then once you've hit 2 minutes, you're ready for episode 2. Okay, so what we're going to do next is you would switch side. Again, 2 minutes each side. You just flip and switch, getting external hip rotation here, and then hip internal rotation here, okay? For the ankles, you can use a wall and post up with your knee on a pad if you'd like. And what you'll do is you'll just move that knee over the toe and then back over the heel. Over the toe, over the heel. I'll do that about 10 times. A regression for that is just going like this, and then you can also go like this with the back knee. So this would be stretching the gastroc here. This would be more soleus, and then if you get your foot up a wall, that's more Achilles tendon, okay? And stretching those areas for about 2 minutes each, both legs. That's for your ankles and posterior gastroc soleus and all the muscles that help you explode off the ground with sprinting and running. Okay, so that's how I would work the ankles. Toes, you can use your toes all the time. You can pick up marbles and drop them in boxes. You can try to crumple up cloths. You can play Jenga with your toes if you're looking for toe mobility. For ankle mobility, doing what we just showed you for episode 1 would be all that I would recommend. For your knees, there's different ways you can move your knees. So I showed you the standing version, but you can also wrap your arm around and hold on to the knee like this. And what we're trying to do with our knee is see if we can find external and internal rotation at the knee capsule. Okay? Do you have the ability to internally rotate and externally rotate without moving the ankle? So this is me moving my ankle, and then this is me, let me try to get it, this is me moving my tibia. Okay? Internal, external rotation. So I have to squeeze, my hamstrings are involved, my calf's involved to be able to internally and externally rotate. So when I extend and externally rotate, I mean externally rotate the tibia and then internally rotate and bend. When you internally rotate, it's almost like you're going to neutral. And externally rotate, you go out a little bit, okay? So you're not going to feel a lot of movement. So one exercise you can do is just go internal rotation to external rotation. Each knee just like this, 20, 30 reps, and then switching side. Okay, so that would be a good knee drill. Another knee mobility for episode 1 that would be appropriate would be just flexion and extension. So laying on your side and flexing your knee and passively stretching it using a cloth or a band if you need to, and holding here for about 2 minutes. Okay? And then for your hamstring, what you can do is take a chair or a box and put your foot or heel on top of that chair or box. And what you're going to do here is bend the knee slightly, and the same thing like our hip 90-90. We're going to bring our chest forward, but don't flare the ribs. And we're going to feel that strong pull in that hamstring with the knee slightly bent. We'll hold this position for about 2 minutes, okay? We're just going to breathe and hold here 2 minutes each side, and that's going to get the hamstrings, okay? So 2 minutes each stretch, and that's our first goal for episode 1. For thoracic spine, We can go over more thoracic cars. We can just focus on rotation and holding rotation. We can also hold lateral flexions, extensions, and flexions as well. So you can also perform those for episode 1. And then as far as glenohumeral joint, we'll talk about some swimmer hovers. So what you can do is bring your hands behind your head. If you don't have that mobility, what we're going to do is just make goalposts. And then we're going to extend the elbows. Thumbs will face down. We're going to reach back, bend the elbows so the hands go up the back, and then relax. From here, we're going to hover the hands away from the back, extend, externally rotate, hands behind the head, and relax. Okay, so that would just be a swimmer hover. Those you can do throughout the day. You can hold on to tennis balls. You can really focus on form and really try to keep those wrists straight instead of flexing or extending them, and then keeping that head back because it's going to want to tend to jet forward here. So really challenging thoracic extension and shoulder mobility all at the same time. Okay. For your Apley's back scratch test, what we want to do here is be able to basically touch your hands together if possible. But if not, you can practice doing that by going one arm up, one arm down, and then trying to reach and touch. And then straightening it out, teeing it out, and then switching side. Okay, so just basically going back and forth for about 10 reps. That would be something I would recommend doing at least 10 times a day throughout the day. 10 of the swimmer hovers, as many cars as possible. If you have elbow issues, we'll go more into that in later down the road in episode 5. And we'll also talk more in depth about the little things like the toes and the ankles. Okay, so we're going to get into hip mobility in episode 2. We're going to talk about pals and rails. For now, just focus on all the stretches I taught you today. Focus on being able to passively stretch in those positions. In episode 2, we're going to take those positions a little bit further and talk about end range loading, isometric loading, progressive angular load, regressive angular load, and all these fancy terms for basically taking our joints to end ranges and loading them from there, whether it's with body weight, force gravity, external rate, weight, or load. So hopefully you join me in episode 2. Perform your morning cars daily. Go through that as many times as you can per day, and then focus on the hip 90-90 stretch specifically, the ankle stretches, the knee stretches, and then the stretches with your shoulders. Okay, so that's all we're going to focus on for episode 1. And after you've done this, you've leveled up. Okay, so right now this is episode 1, level 1. And episode 2, level 2, is going to go more in depth with what we're going to go and progress on. So good luck on this one. If you don't succeed in any of these positions today, then we might not be able to proceed to episode number 2. So maybe just keep focusing on episode 1 until you've mastered it. And then once you're ready, we'll go to episode 2.